So today, as you guys can tell, we are talking about camera bags. Now this is a super important thing I think to discuss for beginner and intermediate filmmakers of, what should I have in a camera bag? And I'm gonna keep it very simple for you guys today and just get the basics, really what should be in your bag. Starting out, we are going to start with the camera body and your lenses. Now, this is probably the thing that everyone on this video clicked to watch first, but camera body, personally, I have a Sony a7 IV and I have a Tamron 28-75. I actually ordered a prime Sigma 20mm lens, super nice and wide. Primes are great, but they are a little bit more heavy in cost. If you have the budget for them, I would recommend primes, but if not, don't worry about it. But let's start out with the camera body. So first off, what you should really be asking yourself is, what are you going to be using your camera for? Are you going to be a photographer? Are you going to be a content creator? Kind of think about what you are really planning to do, because your camera body and your lens are going to work hand in hand together, and it's a good choice to make sure that you're choosing the right things between the two. So for instance, if you're a photographer, obviously get a more megapixel sensor for your photos. If you're a videographer, try and get something with a little bit more range in its frame rate, and try and get with the full frame sensor is what I would recommend. That's why I like the Sony a7 IV. Full frame sensor, and I can shoot S35 if I want to. If you guys don't know what those means, full frame just gives you a little bit more dynamic range usually, but that's why I went with the a7 IV. And then going on to the lenses, if you're on a budget, I would recommend just sticking with classic zoom lenses. It'll save you money, and I would also recommend that you spend a little bit more on these zoom lenses. I see a lot of people running around with a nice either Sony a7 IV, Canon 90D, Canon EOS R, and then they'll just have like a kit lens on it, and that's really gonna hurt your image if you don't get a decent quality lens. The reason I went with Tamron is 28-75 is a good focal range to start out. They're not the best lenses on the market, I will admit. They are still very good. I love this lens a lot. Super good for vlogging. That's why I chose a zoom lens. And then with more of my filmmaking stuff, I am getting some Sigma primes. I would prefer primes, and if you're a videographer or photographer, if you have the money, definitely go with prime lenses. They are way better than getting a bunch of zoom lenses. Just get some nice primes. If you like more wider lenses, get your wide lenses first. Get really what you need. If you're a vlogger, get your zoom lenses. Get a nice 18-35 is what I'm shooting on right now. Just get really what you need. And then going along with the camera, the next thing would be your SD cards. SD cards are super important. If you don't have fast enough SD cards, not gonna be great. So I currently am using a Sony TUFF 128GB. That is a very fast card. I have another Extreme Pro right here, another 300 megabytes per second. Because if you're shooting on a very a very high quality picture profile, or just 4K 30 frames and above that, or S-Log3 like Sony, you will very much want a fast card. This will prevent you from getting, you'll get these lines that kind of go across your screens that will show that you're not shooting a fast enough card speed. Also, Sony, just in general, they just won't let you shoot fast enough. I don't know about Canon, but just make sure to get fast enough cards. Really spend a decent amount of money on cards. If you're on a little bit more budget, I would go with the SanDisk Extreme Pros for sure. The Sony TUFFs are very expensive, but they're very reliable. And I would also recommend getting a case with them. This will just protect your SD cards, make sure no damage. A lot of people I see will stuff these just kind of in their side pockets, and you'll get dirt, you'll get grime over time. So just get a nice case for them. This case I think cost me like 20 bucks on Amazon, so get a nice case to keep your SD cards clean and safe. So that's really it for camera. Just get a nice good body that will work well for what you need. Do your research. When I first got my first camera, I completely just was like, oh, this camera looks great, bought it, and I immediately regretted it because I just needed something a little bit different. So do your research on it, and then I would recommend, if you're getting zoom lenses, just try and get like 2. If you're getting primes, try and get probably 3 or 4 in your camera bag, but honestly, I think you can easily get away with 2 or 3 primes in your camera bag. Now moving on to audio. Audio is super important when it comes to whatever you're doing, whether that be content creation. If you're working on a film, like make sure you get yourself a decent amount of audio stuff. Personally, I have a Rode Video GoPro, I believe. I don't remember the exact name. Let's see. Video Mic Go. So this is just a shotgun mic. This one wasn't great. I'll probably be upgrading the shotgun mic soon, but it's always good if you're a content creator or YouTuber. Honestly, shotgun mics are just nice when you're out vlogging, or if you just need to set a shot up super quick and get some audio with it, a decent shotgun mic will get you a long way. Make sure it comes with a pop filter as well, then you won't get the pop popping sound when someone's just normally speaking, make sure it comes with a pop filter or just order one separately. And then if you do, I think this dead cat was only like 20 bucks or it came with it. I don't actually remember, but a dead cat's always nice. If it's super windy, you know, this will just kind of help save your audio a little bit. And then after a good shotgun microphone, wireless systems. Now this one kind of depends on what direction if you're going. If you're someone like me that's a YouTuber, content creator, or even like filmmakers in general, a nice set of wireless mics will actually go a long way. So personally, I have the HOLLYLAND LARK marks. These are amazing. I have fallen in love with these. They come with a bunch of different cables. You can plug it directly into your camera, make sure you do your settings right, and you'll get some really good audio. For retail are close to 300, I don't remember, but I got the actual pack. So this will charge. So when you're on the go, you know, your mic pack is always gonna be charged. If your shotgun mic isn't sounding great at all, you can always just throw this on, like super easy to use. And the other reason to get a mic pack is if you want to capture two people's audio cleanly, you can get that pretty easily. And if you're working on something more professional for a client, you can easily use these. I've used these on professional shoots before. Very, very nice. Along with that, I would also recommend to get some sort of lavalier mic. Don't worry about spending too much money on a lav. So personally, I got the Rode Lavalier 2. This was a little bit more expensive of a lavalier. It's a very professional one, but you can, I think I got a $15 lavalier at one point. Sounded just fine. Just make sure to get a good lavalier if you want to do an interview style with someone, or even for content creation. Like I'm using my lavalier right now just because it's probably the best sound that I can get with the stuff that I have. So if you have a little bit of extra money, I would recommend getting a lavalier with your set just to be safe. And then the last thing in the audio department that I would recommend is getting a good set of studio headphones. I have some Sony MDRs. Just when you're on set or you're out shooting, it's always good to just double check your audio. Don't use wireless headphones. I don't think you can connect wireless headphones to your cameras nowadays. I'm not really sure. Get wired headphones. It'll save you when you're like, oh, I can't actually hear this person right now, or oh, this audio sounds terrible. You're gonna recognize that beforehand. You can even just throw on some Apple earbuds, just something to be able to hear your audio, even though I would recommend a little bit higher quality, but if not, don't worry, just get some wired earbuds or headphones. Moving on to some more kind of miscellaneous things that you can throw in there. Starting off though, that I would recommend for anyone getting a camera in general is ND filters. ND filters are going to save your butt when you are outside. It's super sunny. You want to shoot at a low aperture to, you know, get that nice depth of field. But it's sunny and you don't have ND filters. Well, guess what? It's not really going to be possible, I would say. I mean, you can shoot at a higher frame rate, but even then, it's so sunny outside sometimes. So get yourself a nice ND filter. I got FREEWILL. I got variable NDs. I'm pretty sure variable NDs will save you some money in the long term. I haven't looked at what the prime ones are, but you know, you just have a 2 to 5 right here. You can just spin it and it'll change it. And then I have a 6 to 9 right here. So just get some variable NDs. It'll save you in sunlight. If it's a little bit too bright in a situation, you need to darken a little bit without changing your settings. ND filters are a great way to go. Tying along with ND filters is get some step-up rings. So the size of my ND filters are 82 millimeter, and then my lens size is actually a 67. So the reason I did this was if I ever get a wider lens, I can just screw it right on there and I don't have any issues, versus if I had got a 67 ND filter, let's say, and I bought a lens that was 82, I can't actually put that ND filter on there unless I have step down rings, which will essentially take it from the lens and then kind of bring it inwards. The issue with that though is if you're shooting super wide, step down rings, you can sometimes see it in the image. So get a bigger ND filter and then get step up rings with it. These are super cheap, like 20 bucks or something, and they'll just save you the hassle. So step up rings if you're gonna get ND filters. And then one of the more essential things I would say, some of these things you could probably get away with, even though I'd highly recommend most of them, but is lens cleaner. The amount of people that I see with just disgusting lenses, and you can see it in the image, just get some lens cleaner. This stuff is super cheap. It's like $5 a bottle or something. Get some wipes with it and just keep your lenses clean. It'll help you if you need to sell your lens later. Guess what? Your lens is going to be clean. You can sell it for more. And you just, in general, you're not going to have that disgusting image where you can see a bunch of grain on it just from lens dirty. So spend a little bit of money, get some lens cleaner, super, super valuable. And then one of the last things would be a light of some sort. I have the Aperture MT Pro. This one's a little bit more on the expensive side for a light. I just like tube lights. I like having one on hand. This one's super small. I can fit it in my bag super, super easily. If you're more on the budget, Aperture does have little light cubes that you can get. Like if you're out in the dark vlogging, you can just stick it on your camera with a hot shoe mount. But some sort of light might be nice here and there. If you're, you know, out in the dark, you need a little bit of extra light. You need to put a fill light or, you know, just something. It's always good to have something for lighting on standby because lighting is one of the most important things in filmmaking. So that is my guide to a simple backpack in 2024. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this video. I will be doing a full gear review of what I put in my personal camera bag, and then I'll also be doing a studio tour, seeing what lights I have, and I will also put that information down in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys in the next video.